Welcome to day 209 of TFIF 365. And today I want to talk to you about some of they seem out of alignment, ways that you might see me moving, particularly related to the U.S. politics moving forward. They may seem out of alignment with supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free. But trust that I know what I'm doing. It's a strategy. And when I'm speaking specifically, it is about when I talk about white supremacy and anti-blackness, but specifically white supremacy. I'll be leaning in more into white supremacy as the days, weeks and months go on into this election, until after the election, to see what happens after the election in the U.S. But this isn't isolated to the U.S. And that's why I want to have because if you're witnessing anything, there's a global movement, a white supremacist global movement. And it needs to be addressed. And so I can say that when I was doing Cause a Scene, that's all I talked about was white supremacy and anti-blackness. And I said here before that this work, the supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free work, or the future is free, that framework came out of not wanting to spend the rest of my time focusing on being against white supremacy and anti-blackness, but what did I want to be for? And that's how I came up with supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free. But I say I let the pendulum swing too far out of, away from, what I didn't want to be against, and then I stopped talking about white supremacy and anti-blackness. And I can't do this work and be authentic and true as a Black woman who lives in the U.S. if I'm not talking about white supremacy and anti-blackness. And so, one of the things so it's been not even, today is 7 days since our, because tomorrow would be Biden dropped out in last Sunday. So today is like 7 days since that happened. And the level, and so, yes, the galvanization of communities and coalitions, as I said, the hard right, and see, I have a problem with saying right because there's so many people who call themselves liberals and progressives who also use white supremacy strategies to get what they want, right? So it's not a right or a left or a middle thing. It's a white thing. And I need to be able to talk about whiteness because white folks have a problem with the word white. It's like when you say white, you freak the fuck out. You don't have a problem calling me Black. I don't have a problem calling myself Black. Also, when you, in the U.S., when you fill out any government application and they ask for a racial demographic, if you can check white and get away with white, you are white. You don't ask me what kind of Black I am, so I'm not going to ask you what kind of white you are. That's not safe for me to go around vetting what kind of white you are with no, you are white. So I'm going to engage with you as a white person, right? That's just how that is. That is self-preservation for Black people. I'm not just going to sit around and be like, oh, but I'm not doing that. And so if you have a problem with that, that's something you need to deal with. That's something you need to grapple with because you didn't have a problem with checking that white box, right? And getting the privileges of whiteness. And so when we're talking about particularly supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free whiteness, people who are white and white passing have a privilege, are able to leverage systems, institutions, and policies built for them and for the few against the many. And you need to grapple with that. And I'm bringing this up because yesterday I have not been called nigger that many times ever, I don't think. And it was on social media, and it was all these accounts with this with the anonymous avatars or whatever. But I've never been called nigger that many times in one day. I was like, oh my God. It doesn't bother me because I know whiteness better than whiteness knows itself. I know that the things I write trigger them because that is the intention. It is to trigger good white folks. So the people who call me a nigger, they're not my target audience. The good white folks who need to see that we're not in a post-racial environment. They need to see what black and brown people say every day, how we are targeted every day. And so I'm going to amplify that. I'm not going to be the only motherfucker uncomfortable in this race, right? I'm going to make white people as uncomfortable as I can so you can understand what the fuck is at stake, because white supremacy is also harming you. You can't be compassionate. White supremacy doesn't allow you to extend compassion. It doesn't allow you to be sympathetic. It doesn't allow you to be humble. It strips your humanity away from you. And so if you don't want to continue to project those things into the future for future generations, your kids, then you got to grapple with whiteness. That's what the work you're going to have to do. And if you're talking about supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free, you can't do that work if you're not honest. Because as I say all the time, this work is about self-reflection, self-evaluations, self-accountability. It is all about self first. And if you have a problem with the fact that you benefit from whiteness, then that's your shit. Because it's like, are you ashamed? Are you guilty? Are you, because then again, then that starts to ask you, when you're looking at supremacy free, the simplified version, equal value. Now you got to ask yourself, do you see other people as having equal value with yourself? See, those are the questions that you have to ask. With coercion free, which is now equal agency, do you see everybody around you having the same agency as you do? Because if you don't, you're leaning into white supremacy. Discrimination free, which is simplified as equal access. Do you believe that people should have equal access? If not, that's some shit you need to deal with. And exploitation free. Do you believe that people should have equal leverage? If not, that's something you got to deal with that, because you can't be in this fight. And the reason I push so hard in this is because folks who can't deal with their own shit in whiteness, you're the poison of every coalition we have. You're the reason we haven't gotten further than what we got, because what you do is come in and you fuck shit up, either intentionally or not intentionally, because you haven't dealt with your shit. So I'm just letting people know that I will be I see where I made my error. And I will be going a little harder on whiteness, and particularly putting that against supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free, right? So, yeah, just know, because I've been saying 2024 is going to be wild, and it takes a wild strategy for y'all to get this shit. So, until tomorrow, peace.